Hello, Stoney fam. Happy Thursday. I'm super excited to start talking with you guys. I already started session a couple minutes ago. I'm really enjoying this new strain. I absolutely forget the name of it though, which kind of sucks, but I've had this thought, and it's like any strain that I've really enjoyed, for some whatever reason, I've not remembered what it's called, or taken the time to write it down, or kept the packaging at the very least. Like, I probably, for this one, I might have it somewhere. So I'm going to take a little look-see here. Give me one sec. Yeah, no, I could not find it. I was looking around and where I usually keep my packaging, because I'm actually collecting some to still continue the art collage board that me and my close friend has been working on. And yeah, I did not find it in that collection. So we're just going to say mystery strain. This is what we're going to call this one. It's very tasty. I'm really enjoying it. And it's also actually grown by the company that my boyfriend works for. So it was actually exciting to try it for the first time. So what I wanted to talk about today is something that I've thought about recently, and it's really fun to kind of take a little walk down memory lane and think about all the times and places and people that I've seshed with in the past, and like what my favorite memories were. So I kind of thought I would share a little bit of mine today with you guys. So first off, I really never will forget this story. It was one of my favorite places I've ever seshed at, and there's been many places that I love for different reasons to go to, and I have my favorite spots now, but this was like way back in the day. I was about, I think 8th grade, I think was the time that I think it was in 8th grade. At this time, it was in the summertime, and I do remember it was summertime, and it was around this beach near where I lived. I don't live there anymore. And me and one of my best friends at the time had this great idea to want to climb out to this like lighthouse thing made out of stone across the way on the beach in the water, and it's like overlooking the water, and it's easy to get to when there's not high tide, when it's low tide. But then when we went back later on that day, it was like nighttime when we finally went over to go sesh there. It was a little bit high tide, so it was kind of hard to get across all the rocks while carrying a glass piece and weed, but we managed to do it. And later on had realized, after session there, hanging out there for a little bit, and then having to climb all the way back, that kind of sucked. But I think going back was a little bit easier than getting there, if I remember correctly. But it was a long time ago. I just remember how beautiful it was to overlook all the ocean and just be stoned out of my mind, just being one with the ocean. And I just climbed up to the, like, MacGyver, had find like a way to like get to this area, which we later found out was actually private. Like, that was somebody's house. So definitely never went back there again. Would not condone doing that. And there was no like signs or anything, so we didn't see until we were like leaving. Then we realized, like, oh shit, that was not a good idea. But that was one of my favorite places. I really did have fun up there. All we did was smoke. We didn't like make a mess or anything like that. And it was all stone anyway. It was just like this big stone lighthouse. It was really cool. Me and that same friend had also one time had seshed inside of like, it used to be like, it was like a office building that had all kinds of different things inside of it, and the part that we had sessioned in used to be attached to like a bank, but it was empty, and so it was just a stairwell that had a doorway that you could open into and just smoke in there, and there was nobody there, so we did that once. I'd also smoked on an abandoned train once with one of my friends, Sarah, who was my best friend at the time when we were in like 7th or 8th grade too. So by like all these stories where we're going to like wild places were usually when I was younger, and also didn't know the repercussions of doing those things. The abandoned train was kind of creepy, and I would never do that again. It was really, really creepy. It felt very unsettling, very creepy. But there's a couple of more places that I want to share with you guys, and some more stories, that some of which were also a bit creepy. But recently, I'll share this story. This is kind of recent. The rest are not. But I had gone to visit one of my close friends that I had just started talking to, and we became really close friends. And she brought me up to this rooftop, and it's so cool being able to overlook the city and like be able to smoke up there. Nobody's up there. Nobody's gonna know you're going up there. It was very relaxing. And then out of nowhere, we're like high out of our mind, and we look down, and there's like a skylight window, and you could see down, and we can just see these people cooking spaghetti, and we just started dying laughing. It was freaking hilarious. So every time that we see each other, we always talk about that because it's so funny, especially if we've ever gone up to the roof again. It's really funny. But I swear, I was a lot more ballsy when I was younger, and I would definitely not do these things now. And again, I don't condone doing these things. Probably not a good idea. But another time, when I was in about 8th grade too, so very young, I had smoked inside Papa Gino's bathroom with 2 of my friends. out of a Gatorade bottle in the bathroom stall. And we attempted to blow it out of a window that was like really high up, and you couldn't even open it anyway. So I don't really know what the purpose of that was, but no alarms went off. Nobody said or did anything. Like, we ended up, I think, getting like cheesy breadsticks and getting like a lot of food. And that was a pretty fun night. But that's really all I can remember from that time period. Like, it was so long ago. But I remember it was a very, very fun memory. And I feel like it's a lot more fun. Like, wait a minute. Like, let me work backwards. My words are not working. The weed's kind of getting through my brain cells right now, and I'm starting to kind of space out. But anyway, or the strain makes me feel like I want to space out. But anyway, I very much enjoy my solo sessions. It's very therapeutic for me and like meditative. But being with other people is just so fun too. Like, you can make so many good memories, and I think that growing up, it was really fun being a teenager. I mean, everybody will say that, but it was very fun during these times. And now as I've gotten older, you know, it's still really fun to make these new memories. And like the one I was talking about with the rooftop and stuff, like that was not that long ago. It was quite recent. It was this like the end of last year. So very recently. And I think it's as fun as it is to smoke by myself, I do enjoy smoking with others. I have put out there that I do really, really enjoy my solo time, which is very true. But being with other people is really fun as well. So anyway, back to what I was going to share with you guys. I have one more story that was really crazy to me anyway. I had a very fun time in the past going to this place, except for this particular time. And unfortunately, yet also fortunately, because it is kind of unsafe, the place is now like, you can't do this anymore. Like, it's completely renovated. There's no more boardwalk made out of stone to be able to go underneath and do this. But anyway, around the same time again, like 7th or 8th grade, it was summertime. Me and my friends were having a lot of fun during that summer, as you could tell. We went inside of this like cave built into like this boardwalk. So it's like a bunch of rocks leading out into the ocean, and there's like a giant pole with a flag at the end of it. And there's like, you know, overlooking the water. You can walk out to it, especially though if it's like high tide. Again, it kind of like goes over a bit, and it's pretty dangerous to be walking on at that time. So we're in the cave underneath it, me and a couple of my friends, and it started raining while we were under there out of nowhere, and the water just started coming in super quickly, and we were all getting soaked, and basically it could have been really dangerous. I'm glad that we all gotten out of there, and it was really spooky because out of nowhere we just start getting poured on. But we ended up getting out of it. It was a really fun time. Any other time we've gone there, and like the first time I remember going there, I felt like I was in like Aquamarine's cave, like I was going to turn into a mermaid or something if I went any deeper or some shit. But sadly, I did not turn into a mermaid. Really wish that was going to happen. I think every teenage girl had dreamed of that after watching like Aquamarine and H2O, all of those movies and stuff. I really wanted to be a mermaid. Like, I was down. I'm like, yeah, I want to be a mermaid. I can't swim. Like, that would solve my problem. Make me a mermaid. Nope, no mermaidism. Didn't happen. I feel lied to. I feel deceived. But on a serious note, I really enjoy all the memories that I've made throughout my cannabis journey, and there's quite some fun ones that I enjoyed sharing with you guys. So thank you for letting me share this stuff and for listening. Eventually, I also want to divulge into some deeper topics and some things that really share the character and the basis of who I am and what makes me who I am. And besides all that personal side stuff, I still want to share more cannabis knowledge that I have and what I want to learn and share with you guys, as well as learn with you guys. But when me and my friends weren't going out and going to all these fun places or wherever, like in the woods, we had special spots that we would go to as well, that we like all kind of just knew were our spots. Like, we had a site that we've had to move several times, but we ended up always having a place that we would go to. But we would hang out at my house, and my house was kind of like the spot for all of us after school to go get baked at. Several of us would go. So I remember just having smoke circles on my living room floor of all of us just hanging out after school. And like during those times, my mom like did not care about things. Like, I didn't really know that things were probably not appropriate. Like, she would often like bring us like booze if I needed anything, or like weed. I would wake up sometimes to her and my friends like smoking without me. That was kind of annoying. I didn't like that. That would piss me off a bit. But it was kind of like before there was any other outside source to really influence like that was not a good decision to be doing for all of us. That was kind of what we were all doing, just hanging out and smoking in my house. And I didn't really have him. It wasn't like I was consuming as regularly as I am now. So it was more of like a weekend thing, or like, like a Friday and then like the weekend thing. But as I would also use it for fun, I did also use cannabis as medicine. Like I've always used it. It's helped me mentally, physically, throughout a lot of things in my life. And that's where I kind of found that throughout my journey, that I always just keep coming back to consuming it, even when I've taken breaks and stuff. And short breaks, I think, and however magnitude how long you want to take, I think is good for your body and for yourself. I think that it's however you want to do it. If you want to take a tea break, if you don't want to take one, that's up to you. And what you choose to do with your body. I would never tell somebody what they should or shouldn't do, and nor judge them for that. And I would think vice versa, it should be the same. And before I end this, I did just think of a really quick story that popped into my head that was kind of funny. I remember one time going into school the next morning after I had smoked like the night before, and it's like Monday, I think, in school, and I'm opening my pen case, and a lighter falls out and just like fell onto the floor in the middle of the classroom, and everybody's like kind of just like quiet for a second. I just like swept my foot out and just like slid it to me, and one of the assistant teachers, she definitely saw. She looked over at me, but she didn't say anything. Nothing happened. I just got to keep my lighter, and it was just like cool. I was probably going to get in trouble if it was anybody else, but she was pretty cool, and I'm glad that nobody else had noticed, like the teacher leading the class or anybody else in the classroom. They just heard a sound and just kind of like didn't know where it was coming from. But yeah, and I was swift with it. I just like quickly grabbed it. I was so nervous. But yeah, I had some really fun, interesting times growing up, and not even like, I can't say growing up because it's just not like I was like a child smoking, but like when I was much younger and growing into who I am now. That's kind of what I mean. But it's just funny looking back and thinking about all these memories. So I had fun sharing them with you guys, and I'm going to get to a few more things that I have to do for the rest of the day, but I will be back with another podcast this coming Tuesday. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and again, thank you for listening. Happy Thursday.